Alright guys, so I hope you're doing fine as always. Today I'm making another quick video about this 1 million baby Deutsch trade that I took. This is a 4-hour trade and I did record a live setup when I was charting on this 1 million baby Deutsch. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the TA. So now for the actual TA of the video, I made the live recording when I was charting, so here you could see I went to the 1 million baby Doge chart. I find these coins by either looking at the biggest gainers or the biggest losers of the day, or I look at meme coins that follow Bitcoin, or I just go through a list of coins that I like in general. So after some times you will start looking at some specific coins that you really like and so on. But this one was in the biggest gainers of the past 24 hours, if I remember correctly, so that's how I ended up on this chart of Baby Doge. So here we are on our 1 hour time frame for the Baby Doge chart. So we start on our 1 hour time frame and I start by drawing my liquidity zone. So these can be identified by the wicks. So I look at the wicks of the 1 hour time frame for liquidity zones. Then we go to the smaller time frames. Here we can see that our lower liquidity zone got tapped into, but the top one didn't yet. So a quick double check. So now we are going to see if we can place a short here. So first we have to see what happens if we want to take a short at this first liquidity zone. So that's what I'll be doing here. So I'm gonna have a quick look if it's worth to look for a short at this first zone, as we are not certain that it will take out the second liquidity zone, so we do have to look for a potential short at the first liquidity zone first. So here I'm just playing around a bit with what would happen with my risk to reward whenever I put my stop loss above the second liquidity zone or above the wick, and if price is dropping aggressively, where my entry would be if I decide to go with a market order here. But you can see the risk to reward ratio is not great there. So right now, as we saw some very aggressive moves, we redraw our liquidity zones real quick. So we take our Fibonacci tool, and now we're having a quick look what would be our setup if we target the second liquidity zone. So if we want to look for an entry on the second liquidity zone. The reason I'm looking at the second liquidity zone here is because it's really not that far off, and in general speaking, what you will notice a lot of times is when you have this very aggressive move up, you will see they take the first liquidity zone and there will be a lot of people shorting here. So you will see price might react a little bit, so these shorters will get a bit of confirmation that they're going in the green, and then they have a final strong push up to liquidate the early shorters. The market tends to punish people that jump in trades early. That's also one of the reasons why we didn't take the short here. We had a look at it. We didn't like the R, so we didn't like the risk to reward ratio, and we were aware of the fact that this very well might be a retail trap, that they will trap people shorting here. So we expect price to go a little bit short and then shoot up to the second liquidity zone, so liquidating the people that went short here or stopping them out, and from there we're looking for a new entry. So what I'm doing here right now is I'm taking my Fibonacci retracement tool over here from our local low to the next liquidity zone. So just as I'm thinking price will go up there, so I can set my Fib retracement in advance. So whenever prices go a little bit higher, my Fib will still be in the golden pocket, so in between the 0.5 to 0.618 zone. So right now I'm having a quick look at the daily and 4-hour time frame. So we see it's really the all-time high, at least for the Bybit chart that we're targeting. So that's a little bit more risky, but still it was a decent trade in my opinion, as we have these two big liquidity zones. So I was really expecting a reaction from it. Maybe a word on the stop loss. So it's hard to place a stop loss there or know where to place your stop loss there, as it's our all-time high. So that's why it's a bit more risky, this trade. In general, if you have other liquidity zones or other strong zones, you can place it there, but here we're at our all-time high, so I just kept a, in brackets, healthy chunk between my entry and my stop loss. So I decided to go for around a 4-hour trade here, so that I have a little bit of wiggle room for price to react and eventually come down. So that's pretty much all that there is to this stop loss. It's just allowing a bit of wiggle room and picking it so we have a decent risk to reward ratio, as there's really nothing above this that makes sense to place the stop loss, as this is our all-time high. So, and from there we set our take profit at the 0.5 level from our local low to our all-time high. Reasoning, if price goes up a little bit more, we're still in the golden pocket with our TP. And from there I stopped recording, as I put my limit order here, I put my stop loss and my take profit on the limit order and just let it play out. And as you could see in the outro of this video, we went to full profit, so see you there. So to conclude this video, we could see that price eventually went into full profit. We saw we needed the wiggle room for a stop loss over here, so price reacted at this topside liquidity, but it had some long candles or some small candles with some big wicks. But from there we eventually started retracing into full profit. So I can't show you the screenshot of the trade that I took over here. So 1 million baby doge AI, I took it on 15x short. My entry at 0.0024913, and my exit price is 0.022080 for a total of 170% ROI. But again, ROI doesn't matter, it's the 4R risk to reward ratio that matters. So if we have a quick look in hindsight, we could see that price also started ranging again from our 0.5 Fib retracement, and it's again into some kind of accumulation zone, we could potentially say, but that's hindsight, of course. So again, as always, if there are any more questions about this trade, please feel free to leave them in the comment section or on the Discord server, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.